I used to have the worst insomnia because I would spend hours lying there combing through my day, over analyzing and overthinking every email, every interaction, words my boss said to me, things I said to coworkers. Now, you know this is you when you spend hours going word by word through an email sent to you by your boss, or even an email you are writing before you hit that send button. The thing is overanalyzing causes us stress. It makes us unhappy, but also makes us spend so much more time working than we need to. So I want you to stay tuned because I'm going to break down how to stop overthinking in the moment and then tell you the secret for stopping it for good. So stay tuned. Hello, I'm Sarah Curto. I'm the career and leadership coach who helps unhappy and stuck workers find their dream job or get their next promotions so that they can work less, which is what this video is all about, make more money, and finally feel fulfilled doing work that they love. Now, I come here every week to my YouTube channel and drop a new training. So if you are unhappy and stuck and you don't want to miss a single one, make sure you hit that subscribe button so they can pop up in your feed, and hit the notifications if you want the bell to show you when a new one is premiering. And if you like my content, my goal in life is to get thousands of people in their dream jobs, getting their promotions, feeling happy and in love with their work. So if I could ask a little favor for you to help me get these videos in the eyes or in front of the eyes of more people, all you need to do is hit like on any video that you like, that you find helpful, including this one, or even dropping a comment below with a question, a thought, or something you've learned from this video that you're going to take away. I'll see you in the comment section and I'll help and coach you as much as you would like. Okay, so let's talk how to stop overthinking for good so that we can work less, sleep more, all of those things. So as an INFJ, that's my Myers-Briggs type indicator, I do have a cobweb brain, which means I tend to have many thoughts swirling in my head at once, and it makes it really easy for me to overthink or overanalyze every single thing. But you don't have to have a cobweb brain for this to happen to you. It can happen to all of us. So here's the thing. I do still overthink and I do still overanalyze things, but I do it now in a way that serves me and my clients. Like I'm overthinking certain things within the job search process so that they don't have to. I'm purposely overthinking it. But otherwise, I have kicked it to the curb pretty much completely. I can't remember the last time I was combing through every interaction and word I've said, or taken forever to write an email, or gotten super stressed out and read an email someone sent to me multiple times. And it's how I've gone from a 40 to 50 hour work week to about 30 hours. And it's how I now have great sleep. It's why I also have energy to take on other massive goals like writing a book series. I'm book 2 now. But I did it in 2 parts. The first was addressing overthinking in the moment. And so when overthinking would hit me, I did these 4 steps. And these are really important as a way to stop it for good. We need to start addressing it in the moment. So the very first step in this in the moment, stopping overthinking, is number 1, recognize. It's a simple thing. You just need to recognize when you start slipping into overthinking mode. And that's it. I made a goal to catch it earlier and earlier, but recognition is really the first step. Because once we can get used to, once we tell our brain, I want us to notice when we're doing it, it allows us to stop it in the moment. And as we get better at it, the sooner in the process we will stop it. So number 1, recognize. Number 2 is investigate. So I would then ask myself, why am I overthinking? Why am I doing this? And I would go beyond as simple to make sure I didn't anger anyone or to see if my boss is happy with my work. It was constantly asking like why and why and why, like investigating a deeper why. And then I would write it out. Step 3, write it out. I would write everything down. So like stream of consciousness style, just or you could speak it out into your phone, because here's the thing. The more we keep it in our head, the more we spiral in a circular motion going over and over things. It's like a circular spiral. But as we get it out of our head, it begins to be a lateral. And we can more easily stop the cyclical spiral instead of it continuing into infinity. So writing it out kind of has a natural stop, and it allows us to do it. Because as you're writing it out, you will notice the moments that you start doing that turn into the cycle. It's like super interesting getting into your overthinking brain and seeing it on paper. It's a fun one. And the number 4 of this step is release. Because we want to get rid of this overthinking mode. We want to kind of move on past it. So for me, I like to call it 2 different things, because it depended for me on the situation, what I was overthinking, and it depends on the individual, what I've seen in my coaching. So a safe word or a pivot phrase, and that would help me move on. And I would repeat these to myself as many times as necessary to get past the overthinking. So things like, all done. I figured it out now. It's not my problem to solve. I'm okay. It's done. Sometimes it was just a sigh to kind of release it. Now, over time, I was able to eventually cut this down to a recognize and release, where I could cut out the 2 middle steps, which are investigate and write it down, so that I could just get it out. So to recap the 4 steps before I give you one last thought about this, it's number 1, recognize that you're overthinking. Number 2, investigate why you're overthinking. Number 3, get out of that spiral cycle and write it all down. And number 4, release the overthinking. So here's the thing. You're going to want to skip 2 and 3. Like I wanted to skip 2 and 3. You're going to want to go straight to the 2 R's, the recognize and release. But here's what happened with me is I would spiral in the 2 R's, because overthinking is a spiral. So I couldn't actually release it because I didn't know what I was releasing, like plain and simple. And then I would overthink that. Like I would then get into this like layered overthinking. I needed to investigate and write it down because that's where I learned the patterns behind the things that sent me into overthinking. I could only skip those steps now and ever since because I generally now know the why. So you've got to do all 4 until you know those patterns, and then you can jump to the recognize and release. Okay, but that's all good. That's all good. That's how we stop it in the moment. But I know you want to know how we stop it for good. Improve your confidence. Because here's the thing. When our confidence is struggling, we don't trust ourselves, which causes us to overthink decisions. It causes us to overanalyze all the interactions we've had. And it causes us to overthink and overanalyze, well, everything. But the more we build our confidence, the less we need to overthink things. It does also help that the more confident we are, the more we feel like we have our own backs, even when we make mistakes. Like the times our boss is legit annoyed. We're like, I can deal with this. I can deal with his anger or her anger. Like it is manageable. I've got my own back. And the great news is you could start this right now by watching this next video. So may I suggest my Building Confidence training? Go watch it now. Go start working on improving that confidence so you can stop overthinking for good. Now, if you liked this video, show me the love by hitting the like button, commenting below on what you're going to do and how you're going to implement this in your own life. Also, Tell me about a time that the overthinking spiral just got you so stuck. And otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye. If you liked this video, then I invite you to join me in the Find Your Dream Job program, where you work less, make more money, and finally feel fulfilled doing work that you love. Find out more at www.sarahcurto.ca/CYLA. See you there.